All right, gang. The attendance was 18,253. Sellout, $7.7 million gate. That's the record gate for any Australian indoor arena ever. And it's the continent record. We beat our own record for that one. Quinlan and Teixeira, performance of the night. Rongju and Steele for the fight of the night. Did I fuck that up? You know what I meant. No, performance of the night, fight of the night. $50,000 for all of them. Congrats to them. And I want to thank New South Wales government and Destination New South Wales for their ongoing support of the UFC and helping to bring this event to Sydney. Love you guys. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Let's talk about the main event. You know, great performance by DDP. Won every round on 2 of the judges' scorecards. Felt like Sean Strickland never really got out of first gear. What's your take on the fight and how do you view it?
I agree with you. Sean is usually really good at shutting people down. And like Izzy, when he fought Izzy felt like it looked like he couldn't get into a rhythm, and he was in his face, pressuring him the whole time. Feels like that was what Dricus did. I'll tell you something fascinating that I noticed tonight for the first time. I don't know why. See if you notice this. So Sean Strickland, the way that he acts leading up to fights, right? Normally when you have people who act the way that he acts, you see signs of it in a fight. Who is more focused, professional, and solid in a fight than he is? You know, when he gets hurt, no sticking out the tongue or no, that didn't hurt me, anything. The guy stays focused, keeps coming forward. There's never any hint of how he acts outside the octagon when he's in there. Absolute professional the whole time. It's actually fascinating. I don't know if I've ever seen that with a guy who acts the way he does leading up to fights.
It must just be his happy place or something.
Huh?
It must be his happy place.
I don't know. Or this is all, you know what I mean? I've never seen a guy so solid and professional. Gets his nose broke, snaps it back into place and keeps fighting, gets hit with some nasty shots. When he gets hit with big shots, he doesn't start shaking his head and doing all the goofy things that people like that do. I mean, you can go into any combat sport and you've seen it. Nobody is more professional during the fight than this guy is. It's fascinating, actually.
And another thing on Strickland as well that I think all the talking makes people sort of overlook is that he's very tough as well. Like, he ate some big shots from DDP. The nose thing, like, usually if you see a fighter freak out from the pain, they lose their composure. Like you said, he just gets right back into it and dials back in.
100%. Never, looks like he never slides off his game plan, stays focused, doing what he's supposed to do. Even with a broken nose, yeah, I agree. It's fascinating.
And on the other side with Dricus, I mean, it got a little bit weird towards the end, but it would be said that in the first round, he actually looked maybe more technical than he has in...
Well, you know what's funny is, and I meant it as a compliment, when I said he fights like a white guy dances, right? Like awkward and whatever. It's all, they've been focusing on that. I was like, don't listen to the shit that I say. I'm you know, whatever he's doing works. He's the world champion. And how do you spar for a guy like that, you know? Don't change anything that he's doing on account of what I say.
I imagine this has to be discussed on Tuesday, but it would feel like Dricus Hamzat is a pretty big fight that you guys could put on right now.
Yeah. We'll talk about it on Tuesday, though.
Okay. Co-main event, Zhang came out-muscled the woman who was meant to be stronger than her, out-wrestled the woman who was meant to out-wrestle her. Amazing performance by her. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know about you guys or how you felt, but lots of people were texting me saying that Weili loses tonight and, you know, it's over, and she was an underdog, and I bet the casinos got murdered tonight because I bet a lot of people threw money on Tatiana. But when you look at Weili, she's one of the greatest of all time, the best female fighter, you know, in the sport right now. And at the press conference, you know, Tatiana was talking about what she was going to do and what about her wrestling. And Weili said, this isn't a wrestling match, this is a fight. And she actually out-wrestled Tatiana tonight and absolute stud. And such a huge star in China for us. She trended, I want to say she trended #1 like 4 times during fight week. 100 million views just on UFC platforms in China. And tonight she was trending #1 in all the big territories for us. So huge star.
I would assume then that you would look to bring her to China at some point in the future.
What's that?
Would you like to take her to China at some point in the future?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the talent that's coming out of, they all look good tonight. So, yeah, it was a really, really good week for China.
Yeah. I just have one for you outside of this one. I don't know if you've seen the boxing world this week with Turkey Al-Sheikh apparently stealing Canelo from Jake Paul and managing to get a 4-fight deal. Curious if you've had any takes on that and if you are impressed with what Turkey's able to do in boxing.
With what? Who's able to do?
Turkey managed to steal Canelo from Jake Paul, basically.
Listen, they control the sport of boxing right now. I don't think it's hard for them to steal anybody from anybody. I don't know the ins and outs of that deal, but I'm sure it's not too hard to steal somebody away from them to Saudi. Yeah, totally different levels there. Not even the same universe of levels.
In front right here. We spoke with Weili before this fight earlier this week, and she said that if she got past Tatiana, what she would want is to move up in flyweight because she feels like she's running out of opponents at strawweights. Will you entertain like this super fight between Valentina and Weili in the future?
They're waiting for me.
It was also it seems like a big night for just like these Australian prospects like Quinlan in the beginning, Tom Nolan, Mikulev on the prelims, all making their debuts, but they're in here and they're talking about, the lightweight division has a lot of people in past 35 that might not be here, and I'm going to be the guys that will this new wave of lightweights headlining fight nights moving forward. What did you make of all the debutantes today?
Yeah,
winning?
I love it. I keep talking about this region and how fast it blew up. Not just fans. I mean, fans were packed to the roof tonight in there, but the talent that's coming out of this region.
And you guys announced Israel Adesanya, Kelvin Gastelum going into the UFC Hall of Fame. Seems like a no-brainer, but even Izzy thought it was. He was surprised because he goes, "I'm still young. I'm not making the Hall of Fame right now." And
yeah. So what's weird about it is that this stuff was decided a long time ago, and then we end up here, so it worked out perfect. He didn't know why he was here, and when he came over and sat near me, he was like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "I just wanted to hang with you a little bit," and then He got hit with it, so well-deserved and really happy for him. We talked tonight. He's going to take some time off and relax. So
there's a debate online over whether that's the greatest co-main event fight in UFC history. It seems to be between that, Joanna Weili 1, and Rory McDonald, Robbie Lawler 2. I'm curious if you have a take on that.
Fuck, all three of those are tough to, Yeah, that's tough.
Just last one for me. Dominic Cruz announced his retirement. Guy some people think is the greatest bantamweight of all time. At worst, the second best bantamweight ever. I'm curious, just what do you make of Dominic's career?
And he's great on the mic too. So, when you have the type of experience and the type of career he's had, and you can sit in the booth and talk fights, it's awesome. So he'll have a great career after his career.
Was that his call to kind of hang it up after another injury? Did you guys have a conversation?
Listen, I'm blown away that he's hung in there as long as he did. I mean, who's been more injured than this guy in his career? It's fascinating, and the mental drive to want to just keep coming back and trying again and again and again after so many surgeries and so many injuries. You got to give it to him. But I'm glad that he finally hung it up.
Actually, just one more. A couple featherweights were here in Ilya Volkanovski and Diego. You guys announced the Miami and Montreal Carter. Is there any, this featherweight kind of trilogy between those three? Is there anything we can clear up on who's fighting who in the near future?
Soon. Not tonight. Who's next? What's up, buddy?
这次我也是代表中国咪咕前方特派员报道本次赛事。你心中的 PC 第一是谁？是维利吗？
This is Leach from Migu. First question for you is, do you still think Valentina is the pound for pound number one, or Weili is the pound for pound number one right now?
Who?
Valentina or Weili is the pound for pound.
That's a good one. Yeah. I fucking hate answering these questions because I love them both. Maybe we'll just have to find out.
这是大家都很关心的问题。下一场你会安排他和子弹打吗？我们很想知道，也很期待这场比赛。
Yeah, we're really looking forward to this fight. Weili versus Valentina. Do you think this will happen?
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
今年中国赛有的话，老板也希望你能来到中国，很多粉丝们都期待你来，感受一下中国人的热情。
If there's a China event this year, hopefully, Dana, you can come to China, and a lot of fans is looking forward to seeing you in China.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've already said this week I'm definitely going to China, and I'm going to tour all around mainland, and yeah, I got a lot of plans this year for China. I will be there, and like I was telling these guys earlier, Weili and her team are waiting out here for me right now. So I don't know, and I do know what they want.
今天中国的成千上万的粉丝都在关注这场比赛，而且在整场比赛来看，韦利也没有受太大的伤，应该是粉丝们希望你都能跟韦利安排2场比赛，今年大家很期待。
Yeah, Weili seems very dominated, and she don't have any injury. Do you think she can fight multiple times in 2025?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Yeah, she looked absolutely dominant tonight. She looked great. As far as I know, she's healthy and came out of that fight with 0 injuries. So yeah, yes, the answer is yes, yes. We'll see what she wants. And, you know, she's at a point in her career now and everything that she's accomplished that whatever she has to ask me in the hallway back here, I'm probably going to say yes.
Thank you. 谢谢老板。
Thank you.
And just straight ahead in between these 2 cameras.
Yep. Hi.
Obviously, there was a bit of talk in the build-up to this event with the tax that the fighters get coming here. I just wondered if there was any conversation between yourself and the Premier or the New South Wales government for any potential alleviation in that regard?
About what, taxes?
for the fighters. If there's any conversation between you and the government about maybe taking them, helping out with the tax.
If I had that kind of power, I'd be negotiating that shit for myself in the United States too. Unfortunately, my friends, we all have to pay taxes. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Do you understand the fans being a little bit disappointed that, you know, the fighters don't have that incentive to come all the way to Australia because of how high the tax is?
Yeah, it's no different than if we go to New York or California or some of these other states. Yeah, taxes are an unfortunate, you know, but I think that there is, I mean, these guys can file and get some of the money back. I mean, you can file and get some of the money back as far as I'm aware of. But yeah, listen, no matter what side of the fence you sit on or what you believe in, we can all agree that taxes suck. I don't think there's any argument with anybody on that one. They suck, but there's something we got to pay.
Just in the back right here, Dana.
Yep.
Well, touching on what you just said there is a tax treaty between Australia and the US, so US fighters at least aren't double taxed, so you're on the money there. Sincerely, I do want to also thank you for coming to Sydney. The vibe here was unmatched. Speaking about great Australian fighters, Steve Erceg was set to fight Asu Almabayev, and now the main event of UFC Mexico City is him against Brandon Moreno. I'd love to understand the build-up of that and why that fight changed.
Shit, I have no idea. I don't remember how or why it did. I don't know. I couldn't honestly answer that question for you right now.
That's right. That's right. I also wanted to ask you a question about Jairzinho Rozenstruik. After his fight against Pavlovich, there were reports going around that maybe he's not with the UFC anymore. He posted that onto his ex that was the case. Did he request his release, or was he not re-signed? What was the situation there?
Yeah, I don't. He was either cut or not re-signed.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Hey Dana.
Yeah.
With multi-fight deal in Australia and it being a bigger market, what's the likelihood of another card coming back to New Zealand?
Coming back to New Zealand? That's a good question. I can't answer that one off the top of my head either. But yes, obviously, I mean, look at tonight. Look how successful this event is, and you know, this is a big event for us tonight. Again, we broke the record. Trending, you know, #1 in the United States, #3 in Brazil, #1 in Australia, #4 in France. There's, you know, what people don't understand is when we move this thing around and we go to different parts of the world, #1 in China, off and on the entire week, 100 million views for Chinese content just on UFC platforms, not including, it's just, it's big. It's big. A lot of people don't understand this business and how this business really works. Most people don't. Media, you know, and a lot of other, you know, people who follow the sport. Tonight was a big event for the UFC, massive. So we'll be back here soon.
And it's every event seems to break records. There has to be a cap eventually. Is there a risk of outpricing fans to be able to attend?
What's the question?
The events keep breaking records. There must be a cap at one point. Do you think you may be reaching a point to outprice the fans?
Well, we're not close. I mean, we keep breaking the records. And I mean, if you look at what it costs to come to a UFC event, it's on par or cheaper than most big events.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dana, just another one over here. Repeated successful events in Australia, and I don't know literally number by number, but I would assume a record amount of Australian and New Zealand fighters signed last year. There was heaps of them. What do you think it is about this region that it's gaining so much success in the UFC?
You know, I think that when I first started this thing, right, the three no-brainers for me were the United States, Mexico, and the UK, traditionally big boxing countries. But Australia, when you really think about it, does make a lot of sense too. A lot of tough people here. You guys got rugby, soccer, and a couple other sports. I saw fucking pillow fighting on fucking TV tonight here in Australia. I don't ever want to hear another word from you people about power slap, okay? Ever. But yeah, it makes sense. You know, the fan base continues to grow here, and the talent is off the charts. So I don't know if I answered your question, but hope so.
And just one more from me. The last few times you've come to Australia, it's been for pay-per-view events. However, if I'm not mistaken, the deal with Perth was one pay-per-view and one fight night. UFC is such a big machine. To bring an event like a fight night all the way down here, do you expect it to be like more difficult because it may be like a smaller event?
No, we bring fight nights everywhere. I just did a fight night in Saudi Arabia last week. Fight nights and pay-per-views are how we built this business. We have a whole laundry list of fighters that are super talented and possibly the world champions of tomorrow. And those are the guys that we move around and put on fight night cards. As long as the fights are, listen, I have to have 3 or 4 holy shit moments a night, and as long as that happens on any card that we do, we had a successful evening.
Thank you very much.
And Dana's just at the back here. Speaking of the Perth card, the fight night, there was reports coming out that it might be June, July. Do you have any details on that?
June, July, that is Perth, perhaps?
I don't know off the top of my head.
And I just wanted to clarify. I asked you at the press conference, but, you know, it's a little bit more intimate here. We can have that chat. Sean Strickland and the New South Wales government, obviously all the media and stuff and the outrage. Obviously, you laughed about it the other day with what you put on your story with the newspaper, which...
I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, no, most of us do. It's ridiculous. We don't even like the paper here. But
listen, for a place that is so tough and the people... Everything on land and the water can kill you. You have the biggest pussies I've ever seen in the media in my life. I saw a story where a guy was like, I saw Dana do a podcast with the Premier and it physically made me sick. Holy fucking shit. You guys have to have the biggest pussies of all time in the media here. Just for the record, but go ahead, what's the question?
The question is, does anyone in the government at all go, please not Strickland, or does that ever get back to you at all?
I do that. Are you kidding me? I do that. It is what it is. You know my stance on this, you know. We're going to take guys and girls that say a lot of things and do a lot of things. I'm a big believer in free speech. And, you know, it probably seems worse when you come here because your media are such weak human beings. I thought we had weak media. You guys win hands down.
Do you say anything or do you literally just ignore them? Like, did they actually voice it to you at all?
We were actually laughing about it. We were reading the story in the back and cracking up at that guy. That guy's got to be the biggest fucking wimp on planet Earth.
So no one from the government, though, actually goes, pulls you aside? Okay, cool.
No.
Well, then, fuck those guys.
Even your people know that your fucking media are weak. They even know. They know it. You know it. We all know it now.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't know. Now I know. Good. Have a great night, you guys. And thank you, Australia. You guys are the best.
看看呗。
要不让那谁帮我翻译？
啊，
王乐，
好，
他说的更详细，你帮我翻吧。他说的更详细。
Really, congratulations on the victory. I'm curious, you played it pretty cool all week when people asked you about Tatiana calling herself the uncrowned champion and saying she would have already been the champion if she wasn't hurt. So I guess what are the emotions after not just getting through Tatiana, but doing so in very impressive fashion?
就是说赛前啊，大家都特看好这个苏亚雷斯，而且他也被称为就是无冕之王嘛。那么今天比赛结束了，不光是赢了，而且是以这种碾压的方式，以他最擅长的方式碾压了他。那你现在有什么心情是怎么样？
就是我特别感谢塔提安娜，然后这次来我们一块儿比赛，然后展示女性的力量。
I really appreciate Tatiana should take this fight and let both of us show how good female fighters can be.
然后其实我也知道很多人就是说我没有打过这么强的摔跤手，然后塔提安娜也从来没有输过，但是呢，我不去管别人说什么，我只专注自己，然后做好自己。
I know many people say that I never fought such a good grappler before, and Tatiana is undefeated, but I don't really care what others say. I just focus on myself.
You seem to have her scouted pretty well. As whenever she shot for a takedown, it looked like you were defending before the takedown even happened. So I'm curious, did anything she do in there surprise you? Because from the outside looking in, it just seems like you had game plans perfectly for Tatiana.
所以啊，今天尤其是这个防摔，感觉你的准备特别充分。每次他要爆摔，你都能马上做出反应，而且就是第一时间从防摔到反摔都有一系列的准备，所以感觉到你是有一个明确的比赛计划。所以，这些都是你有备而来吗？他在爆摔方面有哪些让你是意想不到的？
其实我摔跤练了很多，准备了很多，也有特别好的摔跤教练，有张帅，还有 Frank 一直帮我。其实我上场的时候，我脑子完全是放空了，我不要给自己设定一个限制，就是害怕他的摔跤，防住他的摔跤。我只是想像水一样，就是流畅。
So I know I prepared a lot about her wrestling and grappling. I have such a great team on that. My coach Josh, Frank, my training partner Zhang Shuai. So before the fight, what I did is just empty my mind, trust my body, because I know my body knows what I'm gonna do in the fight.
Dana was in here and he said that your team was waiting for him in the back, and earlier this week you had said if it was up to you, you would go up and try for a second belt against Valentina. Dana said he was going to talk to your team after. I'm curious, did your team and Dana talk after his scrum?
所以啊，就之前也说，如果这场比赛拿下了之后，你想生重挑战一下第二条腰带。然后呢，刚才大拿也在这儿，也有人问他这个问题了。他说有可能吧，他也没给一个确定答案。所以你跟你的团队会在赛后跟他沟通一下这事儿吗？
一会儿可以沟通一下，问一问吧。就是所有的东西可能都需要一个时机，对。如果有了好的机会，然后对手也很愿意接，或者他的伤病也没有，然后所有的东西，天时地利人和来了，这个比赛可能就会来了。
Yeah, let's talk with Dana later. But I think everything is about timing. So if there is a good time for both of us and to make this fight happen, it happens.
Just last one for me. I think I know your answer, but Dana was asked who he thought was the number one pound-for-pound fighter between you and Valentina. He said he couldn't pick because he loved both of you. Do you think you are the number one pound-for-pound female fighter in the world?
所以啊，刚才大南还被问了一个问题，就是说你跟舍甫琴科谁是 pound for pound number one 的女选手？大南呢非常狡猾的拒绝回答这个问题，他说他喜欢你们俩人都喜欢。那你觉得谁是第一？
我从来不追求这个排名第一或第二，我不关心这个，我只关心如何让我自己变得更好，如何成长。
To be honest, I don't really care about like who is pound for pound number one, number two. It doesn't really matter. What I care about is just how can I just make myself better.
Thank you.
雨山 ，Hello， 伟丽这边 ，Hello，
亮哥，
OK， 今天的比赛啊特别棒， 恭喜你啊！也按了训练之前的计划都这么做的，就是冠军。然后我有问题就是300完之后，看你也挺忙的，有没有什么这个秘密告诉大家呢？我们也很想知道。
就是我上次打完300比赛以后，第2天就进入了剧组，然后拍了一个drama的电影。我说完，就是我300，上次我跟小南300打完以后，我就第2天回国以后，我就进入剧组了，然后就拍了一个非常drama的电影。
Oh, so Lee is asking her, what did you do after the UFC 300? Seems you were pretty busy. She said, after the fight, I just went to the next day, right after the 300, I just went to the field, got shoot some film. I stay there for such a long time, yeah.
然后很快就要上映了，就是在中国4月4号就要上映了，也希望大家多多关注。
And this movie gonna this April in China, so hope you guys can follow it, support me.
Hi, Weili. Hi, it's Kat in the back. Near the cameras.
Hello, 你好。
Hi. So after your win today, what does your journey look like from here?
所以今天这场比赛拿下之后，接下来的会有些什么想法？会做点什么？就是包括比赛呀、生活这些事儿会怎么安排？
接下来先放松一下，先去吃一个冰激凌，然后放松，因为就是这个训练营时间比较长，然后也非常辛苦，对，然后先让自己放空一下。
The first thing I'm gonna do after this fight is to get myself an ice cream because it's such a long and hard camp, and then I just gonna relax a little bit because this fight was really hard.
What flavor? 香草和巧克力的。
Chocolate and vanilla.
Zhang over here.
Hi.
You're doing so well with your English all week, and now you've stopped. How come?
Okay, I fight finish. My body a little bit tired. My mind is lazy. I don't want to think. I just want. I'm lazy now.
Oh, that's fair enough. I believe this was your first camp with Bang Tao. Do you think that's a partnership that you're going to keep maintaining going forward?
他说这个好像是你第一次，就是整个完整的备战全部都在帮涛。那你觉得接下来的比赛你还会这样吗
？Depends is where fight. Before I just one month is in Bang Tao. This time and go to USPI, but this time Tatiana is in PI training, so I'm very shy, so I don't want it's every day watch my opponent. So I think it's in Bang Tao training is good for me. Yeah.
It's cheaper there as well, eh?
Yeah, 就是更方便。
Yeah, it's more easy for us, right?
Yeah,
closer to us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Zhang over here to your right. If you Google the word straw weight, the first thing that pops up is a photo of you. You're talking about the potential of going up. Does anything still motivate you at straw weight?
所以现在如果你在 Google 上搜女子草量级，就第一个蹦出来的就是你。然后当然了，现在你有想过升入重，但如果留在草量级的话，对你来说还有哪些动力嘛，能让你留在这级别？
其实我觉得最大的对手就是自己，然后你就是因为每个对手的风格不一样，然后你就是通过跟对手比赛备战，然后如何把自己的风格完善，如何让自己的短板更加变好。对。
I think the biggest opponent to me is myself. So although I stay in the strawweight, if I fight different style of opponent, I can still learn a lot from that, and eventually to improve myself. That's my ultimate goal.
所以就是对手都是我的老师，然后就是我把每一个对手都看成我的老师，如何从他身上学习更好的东西，让我自己变强。
I see all my opponents as my teachers. I will learn from them and just make myself getting better and better.
If I'm not mistaken, this win tonight brings you to tied most defenses of the strawweight title, tied with Joanna, who you have 2 victories over. Are you the best strawweight of all time?
所以今天这场卫冕胜利之后，你应该跟乔安娜持平了在这个级别卫冕冠军次数的记录。所以你觉得你自己是史上最佳的女子草量级冠军吗？
没有，我觉得 Joanna 是非常好的。我从一开始练 MMA 的时候，我还是个新人的时候，我就一直看着她，一直想跟她比赛，然后想向她学习。然后今天她专门来看我的比赛，我跟她说，我要在悉尼比赛，你可以来吗？然后她今天来了，我特别特别开心。
Joanna is still the legend. You know, when I just started my MMA career, I look up Joanna as I want to learn from that. And one day, I couldn't imagine one day I could fight against her. You know, before this fight, I texted Joanna, say, hey, I'm gonna fight in Sydney. Please come to watch. And today I saw her. I'm really happy.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carl from Gongu magazine from Japan. Congratulations on the winning.
Thank you.
In the third round, you had a moment where your arm triangle choke seems very close to finishing. How did it feel that moment? Also, was this a strategic move planned beforehand, knowing that Tatiana would be reaching for the guillotine? Or did you naturally find yourself in that position and decide to go for it?
Your first point is about the arm triangle?
Arm triangle is almost close to the finish.
Okay.
So is that a strategic move, or is it naturally she find the position then try to
let me translate this.
And also how do you feel to when almost
他
close to
说你
finish?
那有一个手臂三角都快有了，当时你觉得真的是快有了吗？还是后来为什么你就转？
我觉得就是说，没有差一点角度，还没有。
So yeah, it's already there, but the angle is not really there yet. So yeah, I don't think that I got her. I don't think I got her for the arm triangle.
Yeah.
And for the second.
Is that strategic to the move, or is naturally she find the move? So before the hand, she's going to do the guillotine choke. So she planned to do that triangle choke before hand, or is it naturally she did? Sorry. Almost powerful, but
那个手臂三角角是你事先就是预料到的吗？还是就是因为到那儿了，然后还？
其实我们练了特别多的手臂三角，对，然后但是到那儿，但是我不会给自己就是说设定一个限制，就是我要怎么样，就是到哪个位置就做哪个什么样的动作。
So we drill a lot of different submissions, and arm triangle is one of that. But in the fight, I won't say okay, I will do this, and but just if it happens, I will just see where it is. If it happens, I will just chase that. I won't chase that on purpose, but if it is there, I will just like.
就是 be water。然后我还有特别好的就是柔术教练，因为当时他就是大家都知道他的这个锁头特别好，然后呢，但是我一点都不担心，对。
So and I also have a great jiu-jitsu coach. So we all know Tatiana's grappling is amazing. Also, she also has a really good guillotine choke. But I never worry about that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, finish.
Dricus,
how are you?
How are you, man?
Hello, everyone. Sorry.
Congratulations on the victory. Just how satisfying is this win? You know, I know you've said it. You know, the only thing that mattered was like those judges in Toronto declared you the winner. There is no drama. But you also said, you know, you wanted this rematch as kind of a way to end all questions that might be in fans' minds. And outside of that one judge who had it 4-1 you, it was a clean sweep on the other two 5-0. So just how satisfying is this win over Sean Strickland?
Absolutely. I think to go out there and beat him at his own game was a big priority. Because to go out there and fight the same fighters in Toronto, I could have done the exact same thing. But I didn't. I told you guys the whole week, I'm going to try and knock him out, try and submit him, or try, if this goes to decision, complete domination. And that's what happened. I thought he was going to initiate the wrestling. Earlier, he tried at some stage, but it was too late. And I mean, I just felt great. I felt great out there tonight to show progression. That was the biggest thing, to show that I can submit the best in the world, a guy that's never been submitted. I can go out there and knock people out, and I can go out there and outpoint a guy that outpoints anybody and do it over 5 rounds. That was a big win for me tonight, and it was a big performance. To stay calm. You know, when I got his nose, I didn't stay that calm, but that was just me smelling blood. But I got back to where I needed to be, and it was an incredible performance. It felt great.
Dana was in here, and he praised your performance, but he also was very impressed with Sean's tonight, where in the fact that when you broke his nose, a lot of fighters, that's the beginning of the end, they wilt. But Sean, after a bit of fixing his nose, went right back into it and stood in front of you to throw down.
No. He was in front of me moving backwards. He didn't stand in front of me. Otherwise, the crowd wouldn't have been booing.
But in that moment when you did break his nose, did you think that you were going to put him away?
Yes, I did. I saw him. He was definitely rattled. I could see him going backwards. My coaches, I could hear them going, chill. They were saying, chill out. And I went, here we go. And I honestly thought he was gonna. But just shows you the caliber of fighter, the caliber of heart. He's deserving of all the hype. What a tough person, and I have all the respect in the world for him.
Did you, after that moment, and he didn't go away from there, I think that was around 3 or 4 when you broke his nose, were you in your mind, you're like, all right, if he's not going down from that, this is probably going to be another 2-round war right now?
No, in fights, especially at this level, the poker face is amazing. I have a terrible poker face. When I'm tired, I'm like, you can see I'm tired. Just know that I'm not going away. I don't care if you know I'm tired. I'm just not giving up. People have the poker face, and people don't just give up. I thought that he might, but, you know, he became awkward in the sense where he pulled the Dricus on himself. You know, he started looking down, just looking away and throwing as hard as he could. And the punches didn't hurt me, but it was where I needed to say, okay, stay calm, let him hit me on the hands, and just keep on winning this fight and doing it the way we planned it, by beating him every single round.
On the mic at the end, you took it and walked straight at Alex Pereira. It seemed like you sent a message to him. There was something online that he challenged you to come up to 205, and you said, deal. Is that true, what happened backstage?
Yeah. He came up and he said, did you challenge me? And I was like, I did the whole show. I did the whole movie scene and everything. And you're like, did you challenge me? That's kind of, that's anticlimactic, but sure, yes. And I said, yeah, I did challenge you. But I did, I have the world's respect for Alex Pereira. I think he is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. I have the most respect for him, what he's done in a short period of time in the UFC, to come from another sport, what he's done there. But yes, I want to share the octagon with that man. I want to be a guy. I've beaten Adesanya. Who's beaten him? I know I can beat him. And at 205, 100%.
So Dana was also in here, and he said, you know, that possible fight against you and Hamza would also be pretty massive at this point. So if it were up to you and he came to
No, Hamzat's first.
Hamzat's first?
Hamzat's first. No, I wish him, I said, please beat Uncle Live. No hate against Uncle Live. I just want to beat Alex Pereira. It's nothing personal against Uncle Live. It was just Pereira. He's such a legend in the sport to me already that it would be amazing to beat him for my legacy. I want to be the greatest to ever do this. But Hamzat's next. Hamzat is next. I want to make sure that this belt, the middleweight title, that there's no question that I'm the GOAT of the middleweight division. And I know that, you know, you have Anderson Silva. In my mind, he is the GOAT of this division. And you have Adesanya, who's done incredible things. But it's not about how many times just you defend. It's about who you fight, how you defend it, and how you've done it, and what period of time have you done it, and who have you fought, and making sure that there's no question that I am the best middleweight, then going up. So I'm not rushing that my next fight is Alex Pereira. No. I want the Hamzat next. I think he deserves a hiding.
So I'm sure he's watching this. He's already been tweeting at you a lot after this fight. I doubt you've seen it, but
no, I've seen it.
Yeah. So
yeah, you can see he really tweeted. Usually when it makes sense, it's his agent. When it doesn't make sense, you know, he actually tweeted it.
So do you have a message? I'm sure he's watching. Do you have a message for him?
No. Stay out of the cold.
Fair enough. And last one for me, there's obviously a couple other middleweights that have been kind of surging. Imavov had the big win. Carvalho was sitting octagon side. He seems to be struggling to find anyone that wants to fight him. So do you look at the rest of the top 10 of your division too and just kind of point out like future fights coming up?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the top 5, how that's changed, it gets me as a champion excited. I mean, I thought the change to light heavyweight is going to be a lot quicker, but now the whole top 5 has been almost thrown on his head. If you look at a guy like Izzy and Rob, who's been running that division for how many years? Now they are 4 and 5. You have me, Strickland, Hamzat. I don't know if he's even in the top 5. It's really irrelevant. You know, they want to give him a shot. You have Kyle, and you have Imamov. What a performance by Imamov! I think you make the Kyle and Imamov fight. I think that's the next fight for the title after the fight with Hamzat.
Hi, Dricus.
Hi, how are you?
Congratulations, by the way. You did back-to-back Achilles quotes. What inspired that? Were you just at home watching Troy and you're like, all right, I'm going to use this?
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's exactly what happened, literally. The Achilles one when Strickland said he made a pact, that came while I was watching the movie. And the funny thing is my dog is actually named Achilles because I was watching the movie when I named my dog too. And I didn't plan on doing it with Alex Pereira, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. But yeah, that was literally it. I was watching the movie and it was pretty cool. I think, yeah.
How often do you watch that movie?
I've watched it a couple of times, maybe like 17 times, I guess.
And in Embedded, you said that you were happy to not surf in the water because you don't like sharks. But ironically, in the cage, once Sean started bleeding from his nose, kind of went crazy and started acting like one.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't go in the water. I know what it's like. You can't control yourself.
Congratulations.
Just back here, Dricus.
Hey, man.
There you go, mate. Congratulations. I'm very interested to know what you think about, you know, where Sean Strickland's going to be going next. I don't know if you like matchmaking, but do you think there could be a good fight for him to maybe potentially work his way back up, or what do you think's next for him? Apologies for the tough.
That's a very interesting. I know what's going to happen next. I can almost guarantee you what's happening next. Is there any bet that he's fighting Adesanya next? Yeah, I just thought of that, yeah. Imamov, no ways. He's already shown that he beats that style every time. Yeah. Hey? Ooh, Rob. Oh, he said Rob only has a blitz. Oh, that would be great.
I think his specific words were Rob was a can. He might have been
but you said Rob was a can. That's very different than Rob is a can.
Correct.
He said Rob was a can when he fought Hamzat. which is completely different to Rob Isa can. But he did say Dricus beat Rob, and Rob only has a blitz. But that's only like that'll be like, nah. I think the Adesanya rematch will be amazing. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, there's gonna be a fight night main event. I know it.
And on Nasruddin Imavov as well, he's in an interesting position where some has said he's done enough to potentially get a title shot, but you've mentioned that Khamzat is next. Do you think he needs one more win to be in that conversation?
It doesn't matter what I think. We all know what's going to happen. Like, what do you think makes more money, me and Khamzat or me and Imavov?
You could also have Imavov. I know you said maybe not, but him and Sean Strickland, because Sean has beaten Imavov.
Sean Strickland beats Imavov every time. So it's that style is just no. If you make that fight, you're just eliminating another contender, and you can't have a trilogy fight with one guy beating the same guy twice. That's what you have with me and Strickland right now. So no, there's no way. Strickland is Robert Whittaker right now, and I'm Israel Adesanya of 3 years ago. That's in the position we are right now.
And one last question from me. Hypothetically, if Magomed Ankalaev were to beat Alex Pereira, would you still be interested in moving up?
Excuse me?
If Ankalaev were to hypothetically defeat Alex Pereira, would you still be interested in having that 205 fight?
Yes, absolutely, eventually. But don't you put that out there, please.
Sorry, thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Me again. Going back to Strickland and Israel, you've fought both of them in the last 12 months. From the versions you've fought of both those fighters, who do you think wins between the two of them?
Jeez, you guys are not asking like the normal lame questions like you sometimes do. Jeez. If the fight goes past round 2, which it will, Strickland wins that fight. Strickland wins that fight.
Dricus over here. A lot of pressure on this one. Hopefully it's not lame. Obviously, this is a rematch, and you come out and you put on such like a dominant performance. Why? Why was the performance so different? Why did you pull away so much in this fight?
The thing was, I've proven that I have the dog. That I've proven, and for some reason, when my coach asked me once, and he said, Dricus, do you hate the people you fight? And I said, no, like, it's literally one of my mottos. This is never personal. It's literally just business. I'm quite fond of some of the people I fight. And he said, well, why are you trying to kill everybody you fight with every single punch? Like, you just go and you try to murder them the whole time. And you just go overhand, and try and kill. Why? And I said, I don't know. When I get in there, that's what I'm thinking. I want to kill. That's what my brain goes, is die or kill. That's what it is. And for this fight, that was the plan. Is Dricus, you've proven that you can do that. Please, let's show the world that you can be accurate, that you can stay calm, that you can be technical and fight that fight. And it took a lot of growing from my side, because the way that I used to fight, to have that in the back pocket, it's amazing, because I always have that. I will never I can't let that go. That is who I am. But to go out there and fight the way I did tonight showed so much self-control and showed that I can do what I need to do. I can do what my coaches tell me. I'm a trainable athlete. I am coachable, and I am ever improving. As a world champion that has defended the belt against the best middleweight ever, one of the, I can still improve by a long shot. And that's what I had to prove to myself, my coaches, and the world tonight.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Dricus, over here, mate. Congratulations. Video has come out of you and Sean sharing a word backstage after the fight. You able to let us in on what words you shared with him? Yeah,
I told him he was ugly before, when we fought. because he's not a pretty person in like to see. And yeah, we all thought so. But when I saw him after that, when I hit him on the nose, I went, wow. I couldn't believe he got uglier. I was like, wow. And he did. I was like, oh, your nose is so screwed up now. And he tried to break his nose back in the middle of the fight. And for some weird reason, I was giving him the opportunity. I was like, okay, let him get his nose. He went like this, and I went, okay. And then I went like, no, punch this guy in the face while he's trying to do that. And I went forward, and he kept doing this to the, like, let's say the right side. But his nose is broken to that side. And I was thinking to myself, you broke the other way. You should try and break it the other way, because he kept pushing it to the same side it was already broken to. And then he came back after that round, after the break. His nose was straight again, but it was thick. And I punched him again, and it just broke all the way again. And I was like, oh, sucks to be you right now. I hope it was a headbutt.
As you've said so far, Khamzat is next. You've also expressed your desire to fight in Africa, in South Africa. Is that when that fight happens in South Africa or in Africa? Is that Khamzat fight?
Yeah. I want to fight in South Africa and Africa really bad. It's as much as a dream of mine as it is to become and retain the world title. But up until this point, yeah, I think me as an athlete, and I'm actively involved, I know South Africa, our sports minister, Minister Gaten McKenzie, who is an absolute legend. The love I have for him as a Minister of Sports in South Africa is incredible. The amount of work he's doing to try and make this happen, all sports in South Africa, it's amazing. If you ever have the chance, go and look him up. He is as honored as you can get. With the Formula One, with the UFC, he is making things happen. And he is honored, and we are this close to make it happen. I would love the Khamzat fight, as big as it's going to be. Obviously, International Fight Week would be amazing. But I promise you, what is International Fight Week if I can do this in Africa? I don't even care. I will take a fight night in South Africa rather than International Fight Week, 100%.
Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Hello, sir. Congratulations with the win. Continuing the topic with Khamzat, recently there were rumors that he has some issues with going to different countries, especially to the United States. That's why he's fighting in Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi, Emirates, I mean. So usually pay-per-views in these countries are in autumn. So in the case that if Khamzat really does have these issues, are you ready to wait for the first title defense till September, October?
That will be my third title defense, but yes, I'm willing to wait, I guess, but I don't care about pay-per-views. I care about taking names.
So you're ready to fight with Khamzat even in fight night?
A fight night in South Africa, yes, for sure. Definitely no, I'm not taking any random fight nights. I'll fight him in South Africa in a fight night for sure. Yeah. And in Saudi, I'll take him on a pay-per-view in Saudi for sure, 100%. In fact, I would prefer that, to beat him and conquer another place. Yeah, perfect.
Dricus, since you're breaking down fights, give us a little preview of what the Khamzat fight looks like in your mind. How much of a challenge is he, do you believe, and how do you see yourself beating him?
Jeez, guys, you don't give a guy a break. This thing about fights, jeez. Counter the jab. Oh no, that was Strickland's game plan. Let me think about something. The blitz, no. Rob. Yeah, I'll out-wrestle him. Yeah, that's a game plan. Yeah, sounds good.
Well, one last quick one. I know we spoke the other day about what you were going to eat first up. Is it going to be sushi or is it going to be Mexican tacos?
It's going to be beer. And now it's going to be tacos. That's a great memory. I've had sushi after the weigh-ins, so but the taco ones. Oh, my beautiful fiance had nachos. I think was it nachos that you had? She had nachos right next to me after the weigh-ins, and I said, I can't eat that right now. But how dare you? But she is amazing. She fasted with me in fight camp, not even drinking on our engagement, not even having any alcohol, not having a single sweet. She loves sweets, she loves chocolates, and she fasted that. We as Christians, and that's what she gave up for me to win this fight, and I appreciate it, and thank you for being on my side, my love. Thank you, guys.